them come. This is their fate.
So this week, the thing that we wanted to discuss this time around, we found online. It was about, does gaming, and this is the question I'm going to pose, does gaming affect romantic relationships? Um, it's a little broad, but it is something that I can tackle head on. Um, and I can take my, you know what? I'm gonna let you guys take the stance first because I don't want to give, I don't want to sway, or anything like that. Jalen, let's go with, no, I don't know. Whoever want to go first. Does gaming affect romantic relationships?
I mean, it does with a lot of things. I guess for being a gamer and in a relationship, you kind of
Mm-hmm.
like when you play in a game, you don't focus too much on other outside stuff. Obviously, if there's something going on like serious, you might notice it, but you're fully immersed in the game. You're trying to enjoy the story or trying to win and stuff like that. And the main thing, it takes time. Like we play in the Apex match. That means it's a minimum. It's an average of like 20 minutes per match. And so for your significant other, they might not like that. For me
Mm-hmm.
personally, I think it's comes down to like a couple things. One thing you can control, other things you can't control. It's like one, for me, it's like communication, or at least trying to like um compromise, because like your significant other might feel neglected, or we don't go out a lot, or we don't talk enough. And that's stuff that you should always try to stay on top of and improve on, because no matter what, that is like, I say, valid feelings,
Yeah.
in a way. Yeah. So even if you didn't notice it, you should try to listen to it and do what you can to adjust. And at the same time, they should be able to communicate that, because it's not
Mm-hmm.
like you should be the one to take charge and like fix all the problems and read their mind. It's a two, it takes teamwork.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I think that a lot of people, commonly women, don't have the same experience where they didn't maybe grow up playing games like me. I spent back in the day, I used to spend every day all summer playing Halo and Call of Duty, and they probably didn't do that. So it's just different lifestyles and not understand it. That's, I would say, not my fault for them not understanding it, because like like we mentioned earlier in this topic, it's like, somebody has spent 5 hours on their phone just scrolling on Instagram, but if I want to play the game for 20 minutes, I'm like addicted to video games. Like it's the same thing.
That ain't this topic. The addiction is another topic I want to talk about. Addiction to gaming, addiction to anything is another topic. But this ain't this one. This is just simply, does gaming
Yeah,
affect?
I'm just saying that the perception based on people's experiences be kind of warped sometimes. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it should be a problem, and that might be something that your significant other has to like learn.
Understand and grow
Yeah.
and kind of cater to and understand what it is. All right, understood, and I get your stance. Jalen, do you want to go or should I?
You go ahead.
Okay, so I I agree with what Josh is stating, and I agree that communication is key. Does gaming affect romantic relationships in general? Um, in my opinion, I don't think they do. They are. I don't think the gaming itself affects the relationship. I think the perception of what a gamer is affects the relationship. Um, a romantic relationship in that way. Because a gamer is someone who enjoys to play games. A gamer is not someone that is fixated. A gamer is not addicted or an addict. A gamer is not obsessive. That is not a gamer. A gamer is someone that enjoys to play games. There's a lot of there's a lot of there's a lot of things bundled into what you consider a gamer. So, when they say this topic itself is flawed because gaming does not affect relationships. The perception of what a gamer is does. Say for instance, you just met someone and you say, "I'm a gamer. I play the games pretty often. That is what I do." But you don't entertain sports. You don't necessarily go. You don't necessarily do like, I don't know. You don't go to the bar. You don't bar hop. These are social events, but you will go to a social event like a EVO or something like that. You will go to a social event like a LAN party, or you'll go to a Smash Bros party or something like that. Those are still social events. Those are events that you go out and you find common people to do things with. So, if you're a gamer or gaming, and you're a healthy gamer, there should be no sense where a healthy gamer can affect the romantic relationship. Only the perception of what that person thinks of you is what's going to affect it. There's the same thing as carving out time to watch TV, watch sports. There's a common ground when it comes to TV. There's a common ground when it comes to sports. There's a common ground when it comes to any other activity that you enjoy to do. You could be the biggest comedian fan in the world and you follow someone around through their entire tour. That's an addict. That's someone that is addicted to something, but they will not find it as as much. They don't have a hard time overcoming that in someone that sits around and plays the game all day, because that they feel as if that is a time waster. But I feel the same for any other activity that does not that falls into that entertainment category. TV watching, Instagram, sports, all of that is entertainment. So it falls into that same bucket with gaming. Just gaming is looked at in a different light. So, do I simply think gaming affects romantic relationships? No. Jalen?
I mean, I'm kind of along the lines of what you and Josh said. I think games don't really affect relationships. I think, like you said, it's the perception and the time management behind it. And I think, I mean, let me rephrase. How can I phrase this? I do know sometimes people can have issues with people's hobbies or things that they like to do at their time, and that kind of ties into the point of what Josh has said about, they might have a different perception on games and stuff because, you might have grown up playing games and stuff and they didn't. They might have grown up doing something different. So it could be they grew up doing something different, or maybe, growing up and getting away from things that they did as a kid to show quote unquote maturity. And then have an issue with the games in that said manner, if that makes sense. So, but again, I mean, I think everybody got 24 hours in a day, depending on how you use those 24 hours. And if you're a gamer, you just like to play games, and then maybe do social things that's based around games, but still have balance. I don't think it should affect the relationship. I mean, it's not like a detrimental thing where it's like I don't even really want to call it a habit, because sometimes a habit can be portrayed as like a bad thing, but it's not a detrimental hobby, if that makes sense. Like if somebody is doing something crazy, like, yeah, I like to sit in trash cans, 2 hours out of the week and just bask in them, you know what I'm saying? Then that's probably a little bit weird. You might be like, all right, this dude kind of, you know what I'm saying? There's other things like you start smelling bad, you bring in, you might bring in, it got lingering effects versus you sitting in the corner, I'm exaggerating once again, playing a game for a couple hours out of your day. And then like what we do, socialize in that said regard. Like I'm socializing with people. I'm not bothering anybody. I'm just playing a game and I'm just I'm hanging out with my friends on the game. Like that's what I'm doing right now. So I don't understand where's the, where it can be an issue. Um, you can always argue about productivity and stuff like that, but I mean, let's face it, man. Like human beings, lazy, bro. We want stuff in the easiest way possible. So, um, I feel like that's a little bit null and void too. So, I don't think that gaming negatively affects relationships. So,
Yeah. Um. So I guess with that being said, I know Josh, you did say yes to it. I guess what um what essentially, I know you said it was the time wise, um, and I think the timing of it and understanding how that relationship impacts the romantic, or how the gaming impacts it is I guess if I look at it from a broader stance of, does sports impact gaming or romantic relationships? Does this impact romantic relationships? I still fall under that category of no, because it's that. But I guess, what was your thinking and your process behind that? Yes.
Um, I say yes because it is an active thing that you do. So, for example, if I like to play games, that means I'm probably going to be inside the house,
Hmm.
probably connected to the internet for a good bit of time. So, like, oh, I'm gonna play Halo or whatever with you guys, and we're gonna play for 4 hours. And then when I'm done, it's okay, and maybe I'm gonna hang out with my significant other. It's all of those things because it's time, it's where you do it, it's how you do it, and
Hmm.
that affects like how your significant other might want to do things. Since I've been in the house all day, maybe they want to get out the house, or we playing the game and we're loud and they want might we want to switch to a quiet environment. So I'm not saying that video games inherently are bad for relationships or negatively affect them. It's the same as all other things. So if I played sports all the time, me and Jalen go and play basketball, we're gonna play basketball all afternoon. It's everything affects your relationship and it's your responsibility in the relationship to like deal with it and adapt to it. So, I'm not saying your significant other should be telling you to stop playing the game or stop playing out with your friends. But you gotta also, recognize their needs once you're done or whatever.
Okay. I agree. I agree with the sentiment of gaming, as if anything else could have an adverse impact on your relationship, and and monitoring those things and those habits are key. I guess when I read that question, I read it from a stance of, is gaming going to impact the relationship um, in like a negative way? I guess I shouldn't have put that negative sense
Yeah,
on it,
it's
because
gonna impact it in unique ways. That's
it's
that's
just
all.
going to be a more of a effective. It's going to effectively cause a something to is going to have a cause or an effect to that, because it's a cause and effect situation. Yes. um but I think when I read it and I replace it with sports, when I replace it with day drinking, if I replace it with like day drinking, yes, I think as a cause I think that has a different type of effect on a romantic relationship. But bar hopping, clubbing, um, that, yes, those all can have some sort of form of impact. And I agree in the essence of, in this case here, I'm sticking with no. Um, but I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying, though. I think it has to have some form of effect, and um, that is what that is what you're talking to. Um, oh, okay. Well, I didn't want to put too much on emphasis on this said topic alone, because it is so much to talk about relationships in gaming. But um, it's it's nice to hear the difference, or the understanding of what it is, and the common ground of what you takes to kind of combat it. Because simply put, it is a normalcy to have someone of between the ages of 18 and 30 to play games. It's not unnormal. It's not uncommon anymore. It's pretty common for someone to have some type of gaming in their life. It's just too many of us at this point. So, yeah, some of the ways that Josh has explained is simply continue to keep that communication high, continue to monitor the way you go to bat about gaming. You don't want to be standoffish. Like, I'm just gonna play it. You gotta shut up and think about. You can't just be that type of guy. Or female, you just can't be that type of person. You have to have some type of common decency, some understanding, and really evaluate whether or not you're addicted or not. That is self evaluation is key. You can't just pretend like it's not a problem.